Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. When I say you gotta be subscribed, it's not for my sake, it's for your own. Every single day, I'll keep you updated on the precious metals markets, what's happening behind the scenes, and more importantly, what you should do about it. We cannot be blindly investing. That's more like gambling. Investors make strategic decisions based off information, and this channel gives you that information. So make sure you're subscribed. I'm doing a $1,000 plus silver giveaway at 40,000 subscribers. But anyways, let's get in the video. So a lot is going to be happening this year, but the unknown variable is what most people forget about, and that's what we need to incorporate the most. Look back in 2019, the end of 2019, the biggest thing was the US-China trade negotiations, right? That's what everyone was talking about. That's what really kickstarted the precious metals rally. And then the pandemic hit in the beginning of 2020. Nobody remembered the US-China trade negotiations. It was all about the pandemic. $11 silver in March, gold to silver ratio at 125 to 1. That's the cheapest silver's ever been compared to gold ever throughout the 5,000 years that has been considered money. But, people could not have predicted that. In 2019, all the forecasts for 2020 were way off because nobody could have predicted a global pandemic. Now, looking forwards, there's going to be a lot of other unknown variables that are going to come out of the blue. So we got to be on our toes. We have to be on our A game. We have to be able to adjust and adapt at the drop of a dime, because right now things are much more severe than we've ever experienced. You might have to make a decision, and a fast one, and it could drastically affect how successful you are. So on a daily basis, we're going to be covering every single thing we need to, especially the new thing that's coming up, the really scary thing, but also important to watch, is the mutation of the virus, right? A faster, more deadly form of it. So anyways, after a spectacular year for precious metals, which are set to take off in 2021, silver tipped to outperform, but analysts are growing more cautious about the prospects for gold as the global economy recovers from the impact of the virus. See, they said gold because silver's still going to benefit. That's why silver is such an amazing metal. It's a win-win situation. In times of economic uncertainty or crisis, gold and silver benefit, safe haven metals. Silver, on the other hand, since it's an industrial metal, it also benefits in times of recovery, especially as we advance technologically. So whether the economy is in bad or good shape, silver is bullish. It's beneficial. The pandemic triggered stockpiling by investors looking to protect their wealth. This, alongside supply deficits, pushed gold and palladium prices up by more than 20% this year alone, while silver rose 47, platinum 10. Gold 20%, silver 47. Silver is gold on steroids. It's a more extreme, more exaggerated version of gold. It's more volatile because it's a much smaller market. We are going to see new record highs for gold and palladium in 2021, but silver will see the chunkiest gains. Silver does everything gold does, but just to a higher degree, but it also goes for the opposite. If gold's going to rise 20%, silver rises 47%. But if gold's going to drop 20%, silver could drop 47%. So you got to be careful. It's much riskier, but there is more opportunity. There's more potential there. That's why people say gold is playing it safe. Silver is a little riskier, but we know at the end of the day, silver's true value. So it's not really risky for us. We're looking at the bigger picture. If you're looking at the detailed day-to-day prices, it could be much riskier if you're trading, but if you're buying and holding silver, then there is no risk involved. Traditionally seen as safe places to store money, gold began to rise as economic growth slowed in 2019, but the pandemic accelerated the rally in August. Prices hit a record of $2,072. While demand for physical gold was hammered as the virus forced shutdowns, investment demand surged as reflected in holdings of the world's largest gold-backed exchange-traded funds. And that's interesting to take note of because ETFs are one of the biggest inflows, cash inflows of precious metals. But we don't have that much physical, I guess we don't have that much physical gold to or silver to catch up with that. There's a huge supply and demand, I guess you would say it's a huge supply and demand problem. If you check out my video I posted earlier today, I went over the details, the numbers, and it's staggering to see what is about to happen. Even if the supply, the production of silver kicks up over this next year, we're still way too far in the red to do anything about it, to make even a dent into this. And moving forward with 5G technology and all this other stuff that silver is being used for, there's going to be a huge shortage. Silver's already scarce, and that's why we're starting to see these premiums on American Eagles. See, prices then dipped to around $1,900 as investors stopped buying and vaccines were deployed against the virus, encouraging investment in assets that perform well during periods of economic growth. But remember up here where it talks about how, I'll just actually quote what they said, the global economy recovers from the virus. That is a theory. That's not proof, because this mutated virus that came from the UK and now hit the US is faster, stronger, and more deadly, and they don't even know for sure if the vaccine works for that. There's a theory that it does, but we don't know for sure. Studies have not been out long enough to show. And when we have Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all within a couple month time frame, the virus is multiplied times 10 by now. So everyone thinks the virus is getting under control, but that could be very short-lived, or it could just be a theory in general. So we got to be prepared. And I'm not trying to be catastrophic. I'm not trying to exaggerate things. I'm being a realist. I'm a realist. I look at the possibilities, the most realistic, relevant possibilities, the most rational. And I adjust my strategy to that. The people that don't invest like that are the ones that always get burnt, because they're going off of emotion. They're investing with their heart, not their head. So prices then dipped around 1900, and that's because vaccines were deployed. But now there's a whole nother ballgame, especially with silver. The stimulus got thrown out, right? It just came in yesterday. So not only do we have this huge pandemic problem, but now we have a weaker dollar, which is in return going to push gold and silver up, because there's a direct correlation to the dollar index and precious metals prices. So we have that going for us. But then after that, the stimulus gets thrown out, pushes silver up. Then we have the demand of 5G towers getting thrown out, the solar panels, and Joe Biden's green energy revolution. So that's where silver prices are going to stay. I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight, though, ladies and gentlemen. I just made a video talking about the reality of $100 silver over the next year. Now, it could hit that. It could hit 50. It could go a lot higher. But if it's going to stay at that price, it's going to take several years, right? If you're thinking that you're just going to get rich off silver all of a sudden, you're probably going to be very mistaken, because it's a much slower investment than Bitcoin or stocks. It's really a hedge against inflation. It's like putting your money in a time capsule. Over the next 10 years, the dollar's value is going to decline. Precious metals hold their price, because regardless of what the spot price of that 1 ounce coin is, that's irrelevant. The value of that coin is the metal content inside of it, not the spot price attached to it. So if you can understand that idea, if you can grasp that concept, then you'll never second guess or have to debate or have to doubt precious metals. So safe haven assets like gold, but also an industrial metal used in products including solar panels, silver climbed from 18 an ounce to almost 30 in August. And that was from 11 in March. That's a 142% gain. And analysts say its dual role and its greater volatility mean it could fare better than gold as economic growth picks up and as U.S. presidential-elect Joe Biden pushes into clean energy prompts more usage. And that's exactly what I've been saying this whole time, right? And that was the ratio in March that hit 125 to 1. But now you can see the gold to silver ratio drastically declining. This path, this means that silver has been outperforming gold. So when it was up here, I was telling everyone, I was making my videos saying, Silver is about to have a massive comeback as it takes over gold. And what happened? It did. Because the ratio is, if it's above 70, that's, I guess they determine that as a more than average or a high average ratio. It's too out of whack. It needs to correct. So every time it hits around 70, it corrects back down. But then we had this situation, the pandemic, which pushed gold way up as people bought gold as a safe haven. Really didn't care about silver. I don't think it was till late last year when people started taking silver seriously. But then you see this happen, which this meant that gold was 124 times more valuable than silver, right? And we're coming from a ratio that in 1930 was 16 to 1 until FDR changed it from 75 to 1 in 1930. To see it 124, that's something that history will have forever. They'll be reading in history books back on the day on March 18th when the gold to silver ratio was that high. It'll never happen again, ever. Investors soak up a surplus of platinum, which also was used in jewelry industry and by automakers to reduce pollution. So, and I think it was a catalytic converters. So they're unlikely to do so again, particularly if supply, which fell off because of the virus. So this will likely drag on prices around $1,000 an ounce, which are slightly higher than at the start of the year. The auto industry uses 4/5 of palladium. So they're talking about palladium right now, but let's keep on moving. So the precious metals performance in 2020 shows a lot. We see gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. Let's look at gold and silver. Well, first, you see how identical these graphs are? I'm wondering I think it's coming sooner than expected, when these two charts don't look so identical. I mean, why do they? They're used for such a different reason in the world. Gold is used for jewelry, coins, necklaces, earrings. Why is silver and gold such a close? Why are they so? Why is there so much correlation? It's like almost identical, and it's been like that forever. Why though? Silver is used for a vastly different reason than gold is, so why are they stuck to the same price? And it's basically because people buy them at the same rates. I mean, there's if you buy gold, you buy silver. Usually gold's the mascot. Gold drives people in, and then they hear about this cheaper, more affordable, cousin that's silver. But what happens when stock market volatility doesn't affect precious metals prices? What happens when the dollar index doesn't? What happens when a single tweet from Donald Trump won't? Because right now there's speculation. Speculation is destroying silver as a fundamental metal. When I invest in silver, it's because it goes off of supply and demand. But nowadays, a single tweet from Donald Trump could send prices flying, and that's not good. That's what Bitcoin, that's what stocks are for. They're fully speculative. Precious metals, since it comes out of how much is in the ground and the Earth's crust gets dug up and the demand from it, I don't see why it's starting to fall into this mainstream media BS, right? But we don't know what direction that could go. For the long term, I hope it gets back, and I think it will. And I think, like I said in the beginning of this rant, I think it's going to be shorter than most expect. But I also think silver is going to take on a life of its own pretty soon as well, since it's used so much for industrial applications. So, anyways, I thought this was a great article to showcase over the next year what could happen, the possibilities. But like I said, the unknown variable is the one that we have to always watch out for. Because I don't think people invest incorporating the unknown variable. They think they know exactly what's going to happen, so they start strategizing from that, but then something gets thrown out of left field and it throws their strategy way off. So we have to invest very loosely. We have to always pay attention, and that's also why I say you got to watch my daily videos, because imagine if you don't, something happens and you're still just trying to apply an old strategy to a new environment, which could throw everything off, and you could lose a lot of money that way as well. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. I post daily videos every single day, 2 videos a day. Make sure you go check out the video I posted earlier today. It's very important, especially compared to this one. because this one goes into more of the environmental factors. The other one's more of the supply and demand, but they both go hand in hand. So if you do enjoy my videos, make sure to smash the like button, but more importantly, make sure you're subscribed. You have to be. I also have a members only club if you want to join the Slayer Elite. It's pretty cool. We have members only chat. You'll get a channel badge next to your name. You'll stand out in the comments of my videos. It's just pretty cool stuff to get the audience engaged, and you can talk with other fellow Silver Stackers. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.